The combination of Mark's idea, the connections through the North Dakota State Student Council Association, and United Way's experience and ability to mobilize volunteers is what allows me to stand in front of you today and to say that this great idea truly is that, because we've been able to make sure that we can mobilize 2,000 students statewide to give back to their community. So thank you for that opportunity. You know, at United Way, where I serve as president, for more than 80 years, we have looked at how we can help address the needs of our community. But we recognize that as an organization, we need to continue to grow, to evolve, to change, and to be innovative. These students inspire us to do just that, to think big, to form new partnerships, and to grow as an organization. And so again, I thank you for that idea. As you can see, our speakers today are wearing the Live United t-shirt. The words on the shirts are not just words. They are truly a call to action to live united. Our students live united every day. And we continue to be amazed at the ideas that they lift up, bring forward, and share and encourage all of us to live united. It is truly an honor for me today to introduce the student that brought this idea to life. Because of his hard work, thousands of students will be mobilized today to volunteer across North Dakota. Mark Staples is a student at West Fargo High School, and he is the Vice President of the North Dakota Association of Student Councils. Please help me in giving a very warm welcome to Mark Staples.
Thank you, Sherri. I would like to start off by thanking each one of you for coming out today. It is so great that you were able to take time off of your day to recognize the youth across the state that are taking action in their communities. My name is Mark Staples. I'm a senior at West Fargo High School, and I'm the Vice President of North Dakota Association of Student Councils. I would like to tell you about how we came to be here today. Last October, I took part in my first ever day of caring. For my project, I rode a bus with 20 students out to Riding on Angel's Wings, a therapeutic horseback riding ranch. The owner needed the trees behind her house to be cleaned out, a job that just seemed insurmountable to her. However, for a group of 5 football players, lifting a dead tree was no big deal. In just 2.5 hours, we swept through the whole area and picked up all the brush. We had done something in a couple hours that might have taken one person a couple weeks. On the bus as we were leaving, everyone was aware of this feat, and that made them feel fulfilled. At this project, I not only met a woman who was extremely passionate about what she did, but I saw a light in the eyes of my fellow students that you do not get to see sitting in the classroom. They were out in the community making a difference. Needless to say, this experience stuck with me. So when the time came for me to run for office at State Student Council, I knew exactly what my platform would be: volunteerism. After seeing the impact that my classmates had from serving others, it had to be a top priority to spread this impact to students across the state. I figured the best way to do this was through the same experience that I had. I wanted to have a statewide day of caring. As I asked around for feedback, everyone from my principal to my student council advisors thought it was a great concept. Now, no matter how much I loved the idea, I was sure that it was going to be like all other state student council campaign ideas I'd heard in the past. Well-intentioned, but destined to fall by the wayside because the numbers are just so big. The other students at the conference were receptive to the idea. Like me, they loved the concept, but were just as certain that it would not come to fruition. I mean, how does a group of student council or high school students accomplish a project with such ambitious goals? How do they organize a collective project? Luckily for me, there were people who weren't going to let an idea go to waste. A friend of mine, Greg Tavine, he was one of those that believed in the project. As a lifetime proponent of getting youth more involved, he knew that we had to pounce on the chance to do this project. He put me in touch with the people at the United Way, where I found some of the most driven people I've ever met. After we first met and established that we wanted to aim for the statewide Student Day of Caring, I spent my summer visiting United Ways from Fargo to Minot. Everywhere I went, I was met with the same reaction: community leaders with the enthusiasm and the heart to take this project to where it needed to be. As the planning went on, we knew that we had a partnership that was like a match made in heaven. Of course, since the Day of Caring is a project of the United Way, they were obviously experienced in organizing large-scale projects. While the United Way could set up projects with local charities, the NDASC had the volunteer base. We could enlist the help of students across the state of North Dakota. And this is what we've done. Today, as we speak, students across the state are gearing up to help their community. Back at my high school, West Fargo, 50 students are traveling to the homes of 11 senior citizens to help them around their house, be it cleaning behind the stove or changing that hard-to-reach light bulb. Whatever it is, it's a small step that can make a difference in that person's day. For the volunteers, it's a small step that can make a difference in their life. This is the philosophy we're trying to instill in our volunteers. By collaborating amongst themselves and in their communities, they're realizing the immense power that they have as students when they work together to accomplish something greater. By teaching them these values at a young age, the students will be able to carry the urge to serve throughout their lives. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the help of many people. I'd like to thank the North Dakota United Ways for lifting up their communities and inspiring them to do great things. I'd also like to thank Les Anderson, the Executive Director of the NDASC. He's been tremendously supportive of me and has worked hard to develop this project and the student leaders of North Dakota. I would especially like to thank the Governor and the First Lady, Jack and Betsy Dalrymple. Their support and backing helped to legitimize the importance of this project. They've helped to emphasize the importance of having a united front of students across the state.
Encouraging teens to volunteer is one of the best pieces of advice an adult can offer to a teen. Teens who volunteer perform better in school, have higher self-esteem and more resiliency, are 50% less likely to smoke, drink, or use drugs, are less likely to become pregnant, gain new skills necessary in the job market, such as leadership, like Mark, decision-making and communication, and feel empowered. Volunteerism teaches teens that they can make a difference in their world. Volunteering is a habit that is most easily cultivated in childhood. Adults who volunteer in their youth are more than twice as likely to volunteer as those who did not. These are some of the reasons I am so passionate about promoting the value of volunteerism in our North Dakota youth, and am so thrilled with today's statewide Student Day of Caring. These teen volunteers will not only enrich themselves while giving back to their communities, but also develop habits that will continue throughout their lives and into the upbringing of their children and grandchildren. Franklin Delano Roosevelt also shared this idea as he is quoted saying, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." On behalf of Governor Dalrymple and the people of North Dakota, I want to thank all of today's volunteers personally for taking such good care and caring about our residents and communities. North Dakota has a lot to be proud of with our growing economy, strong business climate, low unemployment, and enhanced quality of life. We are also fortunate to have such a strong network of volunteers. Thanks to the numerous individuals, teen and adult alike, that are dedicated to serving and helping others. You are making a real difference for North Dakota. Because of the significance of today's event and the important role volunteers play in our state, Governor Dalrymple has issued a proclamation designating today, October 11th, 2012, as a statewide Student Day of Caring in the great state of North Dakota. I would now like to read the proclamation, which is also right here. Whereas volunteerism and serving individuals and organizations in need is an important and vital component to our state and communities, and whereas the North Dakota Association of Student Councils and United Ways across North Dakota have jointly coordinated a day dedicated to volunteerism and serving communities across the state, and whereas United Way organizations are partnering with high school students from across North Dakota who are willing to volunteer their time to create positive changes in their local communities, and whereas when North Dakota students come together as one, they can achieve great things, as they have demonstrated in the past. Today, they will continue that proud service by giving back to their communities and serving as a powerful force of goodwill for their fellow citizens. And whereas more than 2,000 youth from across the state will volunteer at nonprofit agencies, community organizations, shelters, parks, homes of senior citizens, and local United Ways on Thursday, October 11th, 2012, in observance of the statewide Student Day of Caring at a value of more than $87,000. Now, therefore, as Governor of the great state of North Dakota, I do hereby proclaim October 11th, 2012 as a statewide Student Day of Caring in the state of North Dakota.
Thank you,
Signed,
Betsy.
Jack
And
Dalrymple.
thank you to Governor Dalrymple for your
Thank you.
support of volunteerism and for the proclamation today. Again, Mark, thank you for giving us and bringing us this big idea to inspire a statewide movement. We are so incredibly appreciative. At this point in time, I would like to introduce Les Anderson. Les is the Executive Director of the North Dakota Association of Student Councils, and he is going to speak with us today about how we are touched by students across the state.
This has been a remarkable project. Mark shared with you that we have our annual conference. In fact, we have 3 different conferences with the middle level and the National Honor Society and Student Council. But Mark is right. Many times the students present platforms at the conference. And grand ideas, great ideas. But then they return to their schools and their busy schedules because this isn't the only thing that Mark does at his school. He's, academically, he does very well, and, involved in other activities in the school. And all the students are, but once in a while, we'll get a student that'll step up, indicate that they are looking for some type of project, and they'll follow through. And of course, Mark obviously followed through on the campaign promise that he made at the state conference and stepped forward and found the people, because you can't do this alone. And Mark understood that concept also, that you bring people around you that are willing to help. Like he mentioned Greg Tavine and the people from United Way and the people in Fargo. And all Mark came up with this idea, and we worked with this,
you have to have
this fall. And it really was a late notice to the schools. It really was a late notice to the schools to get things going. And a couple of examples, there are football games tonight. Bismarck High is in Minot for a football game. I believe that Mandan and Bismarck Century are playing tonight. A small school in eastern North Dakota, Kindred, where one of our state officers is from, they have a game tonight. But that didn't stop them. They're still doing a project, even though, and in a small school with a good football team, you know the type of commitment you get from the students. But they're still doing a project for the Day of Caring. And those are some of the things that are happening across the state. Another school that I just want to share quickly here, Bottineau High School. They decided that they weren't just going to do this on the 11th. On Monday, they're going to their local fire department, and they're cleaning trucks and cleaning the floors of the building. On Tuesday, they're going into the elementary schools, and they're reading and doing some tutoring to the kindergarten through 6th grade students. On Wednesday, they're going to the local retirement home and playing bingo with the residents of that retirement home. And then, of course, on Thursday, today, they have a major cleanup project that they're going to take part in. And again, this is just one example of some of the things that are happening across the state. Bismarck Century, they decided that they were going to kick off their activity today. And they have approximately 1,100 students in their school. And they decided that they wanted to involve every student in the building in some type of activity. So, of course, all of us are aware that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so from starting today, they are selling items that are pink in their school. And their goal by the October 22nd is to have every student in the building, all 1,100 students, that would be wearing pink on October 22nd. And I know a number of students from that school and the commitment they have, and I think that's going to happen. In fact, that would be kind of fun to go to Bismarck Century on the 22nd to see what all of that looks like. Again, those are just a couple examples, and I could go on and on here because I have lists of schools and a list of activities that are going on across the state. But I guess the big question is, where do we go from here? How do we sustain this? Put it into a systemic system where we make sure that this continues in the future.
In closing this morning, I would just like to say on behalf of the thousands of students and thousands of volunteers across the state who are truly going to go out and make a difference in the lives of seniors, in the lives of individuals across our community. Mark, we thank you Les is absolutely right. There's a lot of great students that are very committed to their communities, but it takes one to light a spark. You took something that we've had in our community for 20 years and you've turned it into a statewide movement, and we thank you for that. First Lady Betsy and Governor Dalrymple, we thank you for your proclamation and your support of lifting up volunteerism and truly the importance and the need when we all work together as one, united, we truly can have a positive impact on our community. And to all of you that are here this morning, I thank you for finding the time in your busy day to come out and to celebrate the youth and to celebrate the idea of volunteerism. Have a great day.